What's going on, Jeromes? Happy Wednesday. Sun is shining, birds are chirping and stuff. Vikings Wednesday news dump. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Ain't nothing getting done today. And not gonna lie, I've been kind of lethargic this week. So haven't been cranking out as much content as usual, but is what it is. But something that isn't lethargic is the Jeromes. Blown away, as always, by your donations and generosity for our Thanksgiving food shelf fundraiser. I spelled food wrong. The FOD shelf. Maybe that'll stay. I don't know. If you squint, which is easy for me, it kind of looks like food. Anyways, results, Venmos and Super Chats so far this month. 18 hundo, $79, 69 cents because someone was funny. Nice. We added 620.31, make it 2,500 total. Margaret and I went and dropped off at the Uptown Food Shelf as well as the St. Paul one on Tuesday. And again, thank you so much for making this awesome. And we said through the end of the month, so all Venmo Super Chats the rest of the month are going to go to Every Meal, formerly Sheridan Story. It's a charity that's very near and dear to our hearts. And yeah, just thank you. It's just awesome paying it forward during this holiday season. You guys are the best. We actually have a bunch of random announcements. So the Jerome get together, it's on. It's on. Sunday, we're going to be watching the afternoon games since the Vikings do play on Monday Night Football. We're going to be at New Bohemia and also Truck Park St. Paul. They're in the same building. That's really awesome. It's like a mini food court. They got food trucks, but it's all indoors, and New Bohemia is freaking awesome. Highly recommend the alligator sausage. We're going to hang out, have a couple brews, maybe go to Tom Reed's, maybe go to McGovern's. It's all in that quadrant near the X. It'll be a good time. So come out, hang out. You can meet Uncle Nick. You can meet Producer Allie, maybe. I'll be the Asian guy there in the Liverpool jersey, probably. We'll be there like 11:30ish to whenever. I don't know. Like, what do you guys want to do? Like, you want to make it night? I mean, there's nothing getting done until the new year anyway. Ain't nobody got nothing to do on Monday before the Monday Night Football. So, I don't know. KOD? Who knows? Who knows, man? Also, it's going to be a busy weekend. So we will also be very informally at Brit's Pub at 6:30 watching Liverpool take down the Sheepshaggers over at Man City. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So if you're up bright and early, if you like communist kickball, a.k.a. soccer, which I love, and I say that with affection, come on in. We're red. But also make sure that you take off your red before Gophers-Badgers game. Anyways, getting on in. So first off, Josh Dobbs, the passionate, and I love how much the Vikings are involved in the community. And Josh Dobbs, during his various stops in the NFL, as well as in Arizona, as well as here, he's been really great. And Josh Dobbs does have alopecia, and he's been very good at at fundraising, at awareness, and reaching out to especially young kids. That. As a kid, it's always tough being a little bit different, and kids that suffer from alopecia, I mean, they can feel uneasy about it, but then they see someone like Josh Dobbs, who's living with alopecia and succeeding and thriving, and it's awesome to see. I absolutely love to see him, man. So, Josh Dobbs is really freaking cool, man. I love that guy. There you go. Also, hard pivot. I definitely do not like Kareem Jackson. So Kareem Jackson has been in the league for years, decades at this point. Pride of Alabama. He's a good player, but he's a dirty player. And Thomason, our boy, pointed out that Broncos safety Kareem Jackson has 4-game suspension upheld by hearing officer Derek Brooks. All right, so Derek Brooks was a tough-ass player, and he was not dirty. But when a defensive player doesn't hold up, doesn't give you a break in your suspension, you know that you're in the wrong, man. So Kareem Jackson's been suspended twice now. He's been ejected twice. He's been fined 4 times in the season. But so Kareem Jackson laid a hit on Josh Dobbs that sent Dobbs to the medical tent. That cost Kareem Jackson 4 games. The suspension was upheld, so 4 game checks. But yeah, that hit didn't warrant an ejection. It didn't even warrant a penalty. And the Vikings are just GFY. Go after yourself. There you go. I have no transition, but Darius Leonard was surprisingly waived by the Colts. Now, part of it is they're hoping that someone's going to pick up his contract. No one will because it's got $6 million left. So he's going to be free to sign anywhere, league minimum, and going to be good to go. And even though, yes, his back injury is scary, and he's still an all-pro player at 28. Get him for league minimum, absolutely go after it. And speaking of just like serving the community, I said Darius Shaq Leonard just... Even after he was let go by the Colts, he was still at the Colts turkey giveaway, which is fantastic, man. I love it. And yeah, the Vikings are really good in the community. Harrison Phillips has been an absolutely good dude. He was great in Buffalo. He's great here in the great state of Minnesota. So I love how much the Vikings do get involved in the community, especially this time of year. Also, oh yeah, we got a football game. Even though first practice isn't until Thursday. Seems like forever. But the Vikings made a couple rooster moves. Sheldon Day, a preseason superstar, the veteran, added to the 53-man roster. Need a little bit more depth with Dean Lowry going on injured reserve. Tristan Jackson has been waived, except he'll be brought back on the practice squad. It's not a big deal. Also, the Vikings let go of Diamond Dan Chisena, and they brought in Austin Bryant. Now, if that name sounds familiar, he was a damn good edge rusher in Clemson. I think he had like 8.5 sacks in back-to-back years with the Tigers. Was a 4th-round pick by the Lions, and just never really panned out with Detroit. I think he has 4.5 career sacks, all of them in one season, but he was let go after last year, was in camp this year with the Niners, but getting a little bit of inside info on what's going on because the Lions largely are intact from last year. So, Brian could give a little bit of info, as well as Kwesi loves the mama, I can change him type players. So we'll see what happens there. Also, we'll see what happens with Brian Flores this offseason. Yes, he deserves another crack at a head coaching job, but the way that he's turned around this defense, would love to see him stay. Selfishly, would love to see him stay for another year. But Flores said this at his presser on Tuesday, quote, it's a fun group to coach. They play hard. They try to do everything the right way. It's a great group to be around, end quote. So why don't you stay? I'm not saying, I'm just saying. There you go. I love that Kevin O'Connell gives his coordinators autonomy to have their own press conferences on Tuesdays. It's great. And also it's good practice if and when Wes Phillips and Flores and Coach Matt Daniels become head coaches in their own right. But Wes Phillips' grandson, a bum, said this about Ty Chandler, quote, he's always been a talented player, and we always knew that about him, blah, 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 talk about Ty Chandler. And basically, the media members are kind of like the fans. Is like, why is Madison getting all this work when Ty Chandler's looking really, really, really damn good? And I don't know. Like Phillips obviously isn't going to come out and say, it's like, yeah, so Ty Chandler's going to be starting and Madison's going to be benched. It ain't going to happen like that. But I do hope that, first off, I hope that Madison can still contribute positively, but Ty Chandler definitely deserves more work. Also, over at The Athletic, so they did up one of their famous polls, and they asked questions like, who's the best player, blah, 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 blah. And then our guy, JPA Football, compiled some of the answers. According to anonymous NFL players, best player in the NFL, Mahomes. Well, it wasn't on Monday night. Well, actually, he was fine. His receivers just sucked. Biggest trash talker, CJ Gardner-Johnson. So I could see that. And he doesn't even have the game to back it up. I mean, what's he going to do? He's always hurt, or he's always, hey, wear blue ski masks. Woo. Cool. Most annoying fan base, Eagles. That's fair. That's fair, man. Coach you'd like to play for, Mike Tomlin. Woo. I love to see it. 2006 Vikings defensive coordinator Mike Tomlin, by the way. Best stadium, Chiefs. U.S. Bank Stadium came in number 2. No big deal there. Except best stadium. Well, what was their definition of best stadium? Like, was it the game day experience? It's not like they tailgate, all right? But I suppose, like, Arrowhead has always been compared to the most college football-like atmosphere, and that's something that is missing in the NFL, where it's a lot more corporate. You don't have that just raw, passionate fan base. I mean, like Tennessee gets 70,000 fans and they suck. Just kidding. That's a unnecessary shot at Tennessee. But yeah, worst stadium, Giants and the Jets. Because first off, the turf at MetLife Stadium is terrible. The location is bad. The fans are fine. But I just feel like in terms of like being a corporate monolith stadium, that one's it. And they played a Super Bowl there, which is ridiculous, man. 82.7% of the players are concerned about injuries on turf fields. Where I think they should take a page from soccer, where there's some high-level soccer or football players, they have in their contracts where they only play on grass, like they don't play on artificial turf. I think that's going to be a sticking point coming up with the NFLPA, because you could say, yeah, I mean, injuries still happen on grass, yes, but I feel like the percentage is a lot less. And in terms of just like catastrophic injuries, like you can measure that, but in terms of just like wear and tear on the joints and inflammation, I mean, that's going to be anecdotal, and it's really going to be hard to track that. But I feel like players are more comfortable on grass than they are on the artificial turf, even though it's made light years of leap forward in terms of progress there. Speaking of progress, not all progress is progress, man. Like, first off, I don't even know what the Minnesota state flag looks like. I've lived here for 37 years. I do not care. Like, I think it's on my driver's license, but for some reason they're changing the flag. Sure. And these are the finalists. These are the finalists where all these flags suck. First off, who voted the Hartford Whalers colors plus yellow to be the state colors? Like, what the hell happened there? I don't get it. Maybe it's like old school Timberwolves colors plus yellow. I mean, sure, I sort of get that, but who voted? Like, I didn't get my ballot. But I guess middle row on the left is kind of cool with the star and the water thing. Like, we're Minnesota. We're land 10,000 lakes. There should be some sort of water element. Although, top row on the right, it looks like Goodnight Moon or Goodnight Loon if you want to get the Minnesota version. Anyways, but there's only one flag that should be allowed, and the voting is done. It's over. It's finito. Purple flag. That's right, man. That's right. But that's it. That is the dump for the day. I'll be at Brits Pub, 6:30 on Saturday. Go ahead. Jerome's Get Together, New Bohemia, Truck Park, St. Paul. On Sunday, starting at 11:30ish. There you go. And again, big time props to the Jeromes. Absolutely crushing it this year. Keep this thing rolling. Further donations this month going to every meal in the great state of Minnesota. But that is it. That's it. Vikings news dump for a Wednesday. You guys are the best. Skol, production value.